Wow, that was quick. I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Players, and it's a new year. It's been a long time.
That actually is, it's a new year, and it's a year. That's all I can say. So far, it started out as a year, but this is a big.
I'm Brent Leary.
Day. I'm Paul Greenberg.
What just happened? We are the CRM Players.
Why am I hearing
and it's a new year. What the heck?
I don't know. That actually is okay. Well, it's a new year, and it's where's that coming from? That's all I can say. So far, it started out as a year, but this is a big.
I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
What just happened?
Whoa.
We are the CRM Players.
I'm going to put on my hearing.
And it's a new year.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I don't know. That actually is. It's I'm still here.
It's actually coming from you, because when I muted myself, I'm okay. But if I turn you back on, here we go.
Whoa.
We are the CRM Players. Put it on. It's like on some kind of weird loop. I had to mute you because I can't hear you. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. I'm afraid to unmute you because you've got an infinite loop of you and I saying, hi, we're so-and-so. And that's not the way to go. I'm going to try bringing you on just to see if you're okay now.
I'm not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, in the meantime, folks, that's why we have players in residence for. We have backups just in case. So let me say hello and happy new year to El Nicole and G-Con. I like to say G-Con.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Hello. What an interesting way to start 2021. Are you still? I'm going to ask. Are you still echoing? Why don't you come out? Why don't you go out and come back in? All right.
It gets curiouser and curiouser, Brent. I tell you what.
Just when you thought nothing could get worse than 2020, I don't know. Here we are with 2021. Anyway, I think it's just a little bit of a glitch. It's the first show of the year. I don't know. Maybe Paul got some new a new piece of something. I know I did, but anyway.
I think the green room's unhappy that there aren't enough cronuts. So.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. I know. I think it's because I slipped a few blueberry bagels in there.
Oh, that must be it.
The crowd here
definitely
doesn't really appreciate blueberry bagels. Anyway, we are glad to have you here because not only is it the first show of the year, it is the inaugural BYOB, Bring Your Own Band, Battle of the Bands, whatever you want to call it. It's the first one that the CRM Players have done. It's our Bring Your Own Band Award. We had it started out as kind of a lark. And it started out because doing our
CRM Players, right?
Yeah, if it's not a lark, it wouldn't start here, basically. But no, what happened last year, right as the pandemic, we were all kind of getting sheltered in place and kind of locked in. We were doing a few of these Players episodes. And wait a minute, I just got to pause myself here. Because look, Sven, you're already starting off the year covering up Ginger's face with this comment. Haven't I told you? We're glad to see you, Sven, but you have got to shorten those comments down, buddy. All right, anyway.
I like Matt's comment.
What is Matt? Yeah.
Exactly.
At you, Matt. Come on, man. I just met you this week and you're already doing this to me. All right. Anyway, happy New Year, Ed. It's a lot of good comments coming in. I'll just say hi. I don't know who that is. Anyway, so last year at the beginning of the pandemic, we were having these CRM Players episodes when we finally started doing this weekly, and I think it was the show we did with Jamie Anderson. Now we know Jamie from being one of the great impersonators there is, especially Sean Connery and people like that.
Oh, yeah.
But he actually back I think in Scotland, he was like a Scotland pop singer. He was a part of a band. And so when we found that out, there's even a video on YouTube about one of his songs. And so we had to have him do a little something, and he sung and he was playing the guitar and it was great. And then the following week, we had an episode with Don Shorman from Pega. He's their chief technology officer. And also, he's a comedian, and he also plays the guitar. So as we were talking to Don and we saw a guitar hanging out in the background, I said, pick it up and do something for us. And so he started doing a little song and dance. Right? Well, just song. I don't know if he could dance.
The dancing didn't really fit within the frame so easily. So
nah, I think the term "shut up and dance" didn't apply at that time. Anyway, so he pulled the guitar down, sung and played, and then the absolute next week we were talking to Des Cahill at Oracle.
I was gonna say, yeah,
and it was he had a guitar hanging out in the background, and we kind of gave him a gentle shove to say, hey, you don't want to let Don over there at Pega, kind of go one up on you. So then he went and got his, and I think it was at that point Paul Greenberg had an idea. It was an idea, as he does. He's a man of ideas, and hopefully he'll be a man of ideas and no echoes, so we can bring him back when we can keep going on this. But that was the thing that kind of spurred the idea for this band contest. He was like, look, there is a lot of talent, a lot of musical talent all throughout the industry. Why don't we try to see if they would each have a band, and we could do like a little battle of the bands, a little fun thing. Yeah. Since we're all kind of looking for something,
Well, and it's snowballed too, right? Because like Des wasn't the last of these spot players on a CRM Playaz episode. So it was pretty impressive, right? I mean, we had the crew from Episerver. It just like the hits just kept coming.
If they would each have a band, then we can do like a little battle of the bands. Oh my God, it's like some kind of weird it's like a couple of minute delay going on there. That is so strange.
It's like there's a hidden LinkedIn window somewhere, like Nicole was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Make sure you got all your
just kept coming.
If they would each have a band, then we can do like a little battle of the band. Somehow you unmuted yourself. I don't know what it is. Why don't you try another machine or something? You might have to go back to the other room or something, because that is just so odd. But anyway, let us know when you come back. I'm gonna remove you. I hate to say that, but gotta do it. Anyway, so that's where it began, and what we thought would be a kind of a fun idea, and we didn't know how people are going to be able to do this in the midst of a pandemic. A lot of folks are sheltering in place; they're not playing together. But 10 bands. Not only did they do, come together and do something, they did something great. Every one of these bands went far beyond what we were thinking with this competition. And so that brought us to actual doing BYOB. I got some slides, so why don't I kind of leverage some slidage here. So
I was going to say though, Brent, I've got a question. I'm curious what you and Ginger think about this. Eventually, I'm sure we'll get Paul's views as well. But, one of the things that's so fascinating to me is there's always a set of hidden talents in any big company or even not so big company. But I got to say, what was so fascinating is I think there's some correlation between doing stuff that's customer and customer experience focused and like the level of creativity that we saw on display in absolutely every single submission in this competition. It was remarkable, not just in the quality of the music and the videos, but the creativity that went into figuring out how to put all this stuff together was just really remarkable. And I can't help but think that it's a really good reflection of how much thought and creativity and ability to execute goes into this whole industry. And I think that's maybe not something we'd find to quite the same level somewhere else. I don't know. What do you guys think?
One thing I think is every time I put a comment up, I cover up Ginger's face, which is not a good thing. So why don't we go back to this look here for a second while we see if our buddy will bring it back to us. So, yeah, Ginger, what do you think about that? What she said?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It's just amazing, the creativity, like Nicole said, and the talent, and just the orchestration of the extra circumstances that we're all dealing with, right? So not only were some of these companies dealing with work from home or recording with social distance or using green screens, but they also were working across time zones in some cases, and just involving not only the musical talent but also some production folks and their tech folks, and just really was the work was just amazing.
It was. And so we're going to spend the next hour and change and so going over the awards that we put together. And so let me try bringing back the slide again so we could kind of walk through a few things here. Okay. Well, no, we don't know if Paul, I still haven't seen him back in the green room yet. I'm keeping my eye out on just in case. But anyway, so about the BYOBs, I think we kind of covered some of that. Now, we have 10 bands, and we talked about, and we're going to give them all a shout out, but we have 10 bands that went through this process with us. And so they each created 3 videos. Actually, they did a promo video and then 3 videos that got entered into the contest. They did a Meet the Bands Q&A. They had their own band pages. I mean, these folks put in a lot of effort to this beyond just the singing and dancing and performing, which is a lot, but they really went the extra mile for this. So we wanted to make sure that it's just not, us for judging this. We are, kind of the core judges, but we had kind of groups of judges. So we had the Playaz, Paul, El Nicole, Ginger Conlon, and myself. We're in one bucket of judges, and we each, watched all 30 videos and gave our first, second, and third for the categories, which are best video, best song, and best band, best overall band. So each of these, we judged on those categories, and we gave our top 3 for each of those categories. All right, so then that's our bucket, and then we have like the extended CRM Playaz bucket for all the happy hour people, and we've had a great set of regulars every Wednesday over the past like 30 or 40 weeks that have come and got together and just hung out and talked. Sometimes it was important, sometimes it was fun, sometimes it was kind of unrepeatable.
Those were not the ones that you guys broadcast, right?
No, didn't want to do that. So we had a nice family of folks. I think it was like 38 people that we put into that bucket, and then they each did the same thing. They gave us our first, second, and third for each of the categories. And some of these folks, they put spreadsheets together. They gave really great commentary. I mean, and they talked about how hard of the decision it was for this. All right, let's see. I see Paul back. Let's see if this is going to work.
It'll work.
Hey!
There he is.
Yay.
You know what happened?
I do.
Uh-oh.
So very simple. No, it's actually simpler than you think. When you gave me the link via Facebook Messenger, I clicked the link. I went over. I came in. I left Facebook up, and it went on to Facebook Live.
Oh, not LinkedIn. But close.
Yeah, first time that ever happened. No, it wasn't LinkedIn. LinkedIn was open, but it wasn't on LinkedIn, right? It was Facebook Live that was broadcasting. I noticed when I went out. But the weird thing, and this was weird, right, was even when I was like, at first I just was like rebooting, and I could literally hear the thing going, like hear you guys talking while the rebooting was actually rebooting up. It never went off. It was bizarre. Totally weird. And then I shut it down one time. I completely shut off one time. And as soon as I started it up again, I could hear you talking immediately again. So there was some weird thing going on there, which I don't know. So I went and did what I often do because I'm such an accomplished IT professional. I literally unplugged everything and then replugged it all back in. And I knew that would work.
It's what you should hard reboot.
You know what you should get for that?
A very hard one.
A blueberry bagel. There you go. Yeah.
You mean a blueberry baked good or a savory muffin with a hole?
Something.
Savory muffin.
That was Esteban's name for it, a savory muffin with a hole.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were just kind of stepping through. You
I
picked a
heard.
real good time to. So
Again, I heard all of it.
You heard it all.
Probably 2 or 3 times.
I was going to say, how many times did you hear it? Yeah.
I was infinite.
So
numbers.
did you want to? I was just talking about the judging. So you want to pick it up?
Well, I heard you talking about that. It was 38 for sure, and it was exactly 30. So we had 38 of the. So here's kind of the story. So as Brent described, we had the popular. Well, I don't know. Actually, this part I didn't hear. We had the popular vote, which ended up being several thousand people voting, and then we had the judges panel. Here's 4 judges right here, and then the happy hour judges, 38, the ones who were doing the spreadsheets and everything else. We also had a scoring system that was designed to honestly minimize gaming, because other than that, pretty much big companies are going to win everything no matter what, right? So,
right. Like the 2,000 people from Salesforce who all voted? Kidding.
Yeah, I guarantee that didn't happen. Hi, Sylvia. It's doable. We promise. We did it. We can talk afterwards about that. So, so the what was really interesting was that the 38 judges put together. Some of them developed their own scoring systems. So we had to kind of interpret their scoring systems and then kind of fit it into ours. And then let's say this: the panel versus the popular vote, they were weighted. I'm not going to tell you what the weights were, but they were weighted to minimize gaming. Let's just leave it at that. And so as it worked out, the net was, and you'll find this out as the show goes on, there were some surprises.
Lots of surprises.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be rolling out some of those surprises over the next 75 minutes or so. All right. So our game plan for the CRM Playaz in Residence is we're going to kind of be shuffling them in and out throughout the next 75 minutes or so. So when are we going to do it? We're going to play each of the finalists. We've put together a little clip to announce who the finalists were for each category. We're going to play that.
The top three.
The top three. We'll play that for each category, and then we'll bring in the Playaz in Residence for a little bit of discussion before we say who the winners are in each category. So that we're going to be doing that with them. And then we have 3 official awards for those 3 categories, but we also have some kind of what we're calling shout outs, and different categories. It's just really just me and Paul said, you know what? We like that. Let's shout them out.
Yeah. We dug in and we looked at a lot, and I'll tell you, it was tough with some of these shout outs. There were a lot of people and bands that could have won them, and we had to pick one. Yeah. So no one should feel sad that they didn't win, because I can guarantee this, one way or the other, they almost did.
Yeah,
right? So
that's true. All right, so we're going to say a very short goodbye to the Playaz in Residence, because, as you know, they will be back shortly.
Very soon.
Bye, ladies. Okay, so let's kind of keep rolling on some of these slides, because before we started the official categories, we did have a couple of things we wanted to roll through. All right. So before we get rolling, we thought we would actually,
do a little advertising
for the awards. To advertise the very first CRM Playaz Executive Roundtable Conversation of 2021. And as we did with the first one we had a series of industry executives from industry heavyweight companies, which I thought went really well. So well enough that we want to do another one, right?
Yeah, this one is the companies that they're all on and there's one more we've invited who's not here yet because we haven't gotten a response. But these are companies each one of them is on a big roll right now, like just on a roll. Every one of these is like blowing the doors off in the marketplace, and we're going to discuss how that's happening, what they do, how they think about it. I mean, this is some seriously cool stuff, and I know that I'm sure that all of you guys out there know these companies. I don't doubt that one iota, but you'll find out some things that are unique and interesting about them. as we.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, they got canceled this year. I think they're temporarily canceled. Oh, that's the Emmys. Sorry. But this thing will be an amazing panel that I highly recommend that you will, of course, immediately on this being over, we'll put up the event for that. So be ready. So anyway, yeah, this is going to be exciting. And we'll be announcing who's going to be on the panel very shortly.
Yep. All right. So we just want to get that out of the way. All right. So the other thing we want to do before we announce any awards or any shout, well, this is actually the first official shout out. It's a shout out to all of the bands because, quite honestly, you guys blew me away. I didn't really have high expectations. I will be the first to admit when Paul brought me the idea, I was like, it sounds interesting, but do you think they're all going to be good? Man, was I wrong about that?
This mind-blowing. That's all you can say. All 10 bands were mind-blowing. And the thing, there was, just to give an example, one of the bands, there was one of the commentators, one of the 38 happy hour commentators on the band said, he was asking about one of the bands. He said, well, I'm assuming these guys have been on the road traveling together a lot. And as it turned out, that band had literally been formed like 6 days before, or six days from the day we asked them to be part of this. They said, oh, yeah, we have a band. And then they went and formed one, right? So that's what I'm saying. The quality of both the actual music, the musicians, and the quality of the video production was just off the charts.
Yeah, and it made it very hard from a judging perspective because it was just amazing. So we thank you so much for making this all happen and not only just doing it, but doing it with serious passion and professionalism and great music and great looking video. It was great. All right, so I think we're ready to start doing some other. I think we have another shout out actually. All right, so here you want to announce what this is all about. Best.
Yeah. So one of the things we want to do, because one of the things with the bands is we want them to be able to put themselves forward, and actually also their companies. You look, these are vendor bands basically, and companies do what their companies do. Both Brent and I are industry analysts, for Christ's sake, and we. What we do is we cover these companies a lot of times, but these bands were just so talented and want to give them an opportunity to put themselves forward. So we built a band page for them, and then we asked them all to do promos. And this was before they submitted their videos. 90-second promos, give or take a few seconds. And I'll tell you what, there was some amazing promos. I mean, that was our first actual look at most of these bands. And I have to say, there was one which... Are we ready to unveil it? I think so. Let's do this one. This is best promo video. All right. All I can say for this one is Stig Feldspar. That's all I can say.
These guys, I mean, look, I enjoyed all the promo videos, but this one had a little something extra. It was like told like documentary style. It was like instead of VH1 they called it DH1. I still don't know what the D is, but
I have no clue. I thought maybe they meant DHL and somebody was shipping them something. I
don't know what it was, but it was told like a rockumentary, and it was told through the eyes of interviewing an 80s rock. Was he 80 or maybe even he might have been
80s. It was 83. I remember that.
Well, that's how much. No, that's the year we apparently owed him money from.
That's right.
It was told through the eyes of Stig Feldspar, who was a rock and roll roadie. I don't know. He didn't really play anything. And it's just like a roadie kind of guy.
He's a roadie who liked to drink tequila, basically from my basement, apparently.
Yeah. And I don't even know why we're even giving him an award, because he claimed that we owe him money since the 80s or so. It was just so original. It was funny. He had me when he said, when he described the CX Pistols, the CX Pistols as a mix of Bob Marley, Grand Funk Railroad, and Enya. I mean, you had me at Enya. That's all I can say with that. So congrats for the shout out. You don't get an official award, but you get a shout out. That's pretty good. All right. Last one of the shout outs before we do one of the big awards. Best video concept. Want to explain that one?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's best video, of course, which is actually the production. So that involves all kinds of different, aspects. Neil, I'll tell you what, let's after this is over, let's get together and we'll pool whatever cash we have and give it to him. Right.
But just look at what Art Marshall said as a foreshadow. All right, go ahead.
All right. So the kind of video, but this was like not the production. This is the best idea within the video. What is it that you want to do? What is it that makes this video like so interesting and different than others? So we did some work on that one. And Brent, you want to announce the winner?
Okay, so the winner for best video concept. Now, this is leading up to the actual best video award, but this is the video concept. Shout out.
Elements.cloud, Jane Blonde and the Goldfingers, Staying Alive, Another Brick in the Wall. And this was brilliant, actually.
Was awesome. I remember it's the way that they integrated these two. First of all, both songs are great. And they do a nice job with each song. But the way they integrated the song and then the videos, it was really impressive. I just thought it was great. And I loved how they incorporated. I mean, I'm a DJ. So the beat to Staying Alive and Another Brick in the Wall, they meshed perfectly. And they made it sound good, but then they also made it really good on the eye, the video presentation. I just thought it was a great concept.
It was actually brilliant. And the thing that got me, to your point, was the meshing part. I mean, the actual integration of the two songs was seamless. I mean, you could not tell that they weren't actually one song, right? That happened to have two significant parts, or that they were from different groups. But it was just perfect. I have to say, it was actually, just even from the standpoint of mashups I've seen that are professional, meaning, actual people who get paid to be bands, this one even stood out with that.
It did. Yeah, and I'm rolling through these. There's lots of, what I like about this contest too? The camaraderie, if I could say it, the camaraderie amongst the bands. They're rooting for each other. They're congratulating each other. I just think it's cool. Yeah. All right. So I think that brings us to our first. Let me see if I got the first official award. Okay. What do we got there?
That's you got the finalist video now, right?
Oh, okay. So we're ready for the finalist video. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So here we go. I'm going to take away the screen here. And now we're going to play. So we're going for the best video. And here are the finalists for the best video. So I'm getting ready to.
Before you start, let's just explain one thing.
Oh, yeah. Do that.
Yeah. Okay. So there were, of course, 30 music videos that you could have chosen from, 3 from each of the 10 bands. What we're doing here is the top 3 videos of the 30. So theoretically, more than one video from a single band could be on this. Secondly, what you're going to see is a brief thing of each of the 3, but then we're going to announce there's a winner, a second place, and a third place. But what we're going to do is we're going to announce the winner, and then you'll see a screen that has the other, all 3 of them on the screen, or at least the other 2. All right, so keep that in mind here. This is going to
this will give you this will announce the finalists, and then we'll come back, a little discussion, bring in the the Playaz
And bring
residents, and then we'll announce.
and then we'll bring in the band itself. I mean, the winner.
Yep. All right. So let me remove you for a couple of minutes here. There we go.
The finalists for the CRM Playaz BYOB 2020 Award for Best Video are Elements.cloud's Jane Blond and the Goldfingers for Mashup, Staying Alive, Another Brick in the Wall.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud and women warm. I've been kicked around since I was born. Now it's alright, it's okay, and you may look the other way, but we can try to understand the New York Times effect on men. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive.
Episervers, the Epi Encores, the winner takes it all.
I don't want to talk about the things we've gone through, though it's hurting me. Now it's history. I played all my cards, and that's what you've done too. Nothing more to say. No more ace to play. The winner takes it all. The loser stands small.
Zoho's RMD for From Chennai with Love.
Yeah, this one's for Chennai. That's right, 2020. Between you and I. Yeah, things change in a blink of an eye, like something having fallen right up from the sky. Thoughts passing by, memories flashing by. Minutes, hours, days, weeks, months passing by. The culture we're missing, the coffee we're missing, the beaches we're missing, the places we're missing, general life we've been missing. Those days we kept chilling and close up the east. Yeah, life wasn't easier.
The finalists for the CRM Playaz BYOB 2020 Award.
Okay, let's bring everybody back. All right, so we got the finalists. Come on, let's see there. And let's bring our Playaz resident. So we got the finalists for the best video.
I gotta say, what's fun is Ginger and I don't know who these are either. So
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
I know.
Well, keep in mind, so you guys voted, we voted, 38 people were the fifth judge, and thousands of others voted on this. So these three finalists are the resultant effect of all of that. And it's a lot of there's a lot of
tremendous amount of competition. I mean,
Yeah.
and I will tell you this, on the whole, it was close in terms of fourth, fifth, and Rebecca, yes, that was. She got it. All right, Rebecca, you win. you win the shout out, right? You got the voice.
I just want to point out that Rebecca was clearly very unhappy until you got back, Paul. So we're like,
I know.
In fourth
Like
fiddle.
we're all just chopped liver up in here for Rebecca, you know.
But
all
no,
right,
I guess
That's Shades, by the way. Shades, you remember.
so are we ready to unveil it?
Yeah. No. Wow. Who? I want to hear who you guys think were the
okay.
three.
I gotta say, I loved all of those videos. Genuinely, they were all high on my own personal list. I know which one I voted for. I feel like if there is one category I would have a hope of guessing the winner in, it's probably this one. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was a little off in one, but I just feel like the winner takes it all was a shoo-in for being a finalist for sure. If not taking the top slot, which we'll find out. But I loved the what's staying alive, brick in the wall. It just kind of brought me back to the MTV 80s, you know?
But it was,
Video
I mean,
content.
it was an awesome mashup. It was really phenomenally well done, super entertaining. Video was hilarious as well. So on multiple counts, totally awesome. And the Chennai with Love. I mean, honestly, like that one, when I was going through and watching all of the videos, when I was making my judgment, that was one of the last ones that I saw. And it was honestly just such an awesome note to end my whole I did it on a Saturday afternoon, and it was a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. And that one really just helped to round out the whole experience. So also one of my favorites.
So wait, before we announce the winner, let's keep Roberto, I'm keeping you in suspense here. So there was one thing about Chennai with Love too, which is notable, and it was the only original in the entire competition of the 30. And originals have a much harder time getting at least popular credence, if nothing else, than any other one, because you not only have to convince them about the music, you have to be convinced about the actual lyrics, right? It's where if you're doing a cover, you don't have to be convinced about anything about how close it is to the cover. The other thing is, and this again, winner takes it all, is actually they rework the words of the song. And think about Elements.cloud is two different ones mashed, right? So each one of these is original in its own right, which is really, really unusual. And that's the three that actually won, which completely blows my theory that you can't win with originals, since all three of them are original. Right.
I mean, it's fantastic. And here's the thing. We were talking earlier, and I have a feeling this is a theme we'll come back to, but we were talking earlier about how the baseline level of creativity here was just already pretty phenomenal, but this just, all of three of these finalists up the ante, as you say, Paul, in different ways by just a huge margin. Fantastic stuff.
All right.
Are we ready?
Right, Brent, you ready, Brent?
I've been born ready. I'm ready for this. All right. So the 2020 BYOB 2020 best video goes to, oops, wait a minute.
Really playing it all the way out, stringing it out here.
Hey,
there it is.
The Epi Encores, winner takes it all, and the winner took it all.
Yeah, actually, but let's also do a quick shout out to second place was Zoho RMD from Chennai with Love, and third place Jane Blonde and the Goldfingers, Staying Alive, Brick in the Wall, the mashup. So definitely shout out to those two, because they were two great videos, but we can only have one winner, and the winner took it all. It's the Epi Encore. Wow. Okay, guys, what do you think? What do you think?
That was great. I think well deserved. I mean, honestly, creativity, as you say, Paul, and the lyrics, doing a little bit of adaptation there. It's something the Epi team, the Encores, did in all of their submissions. But this one, and I think why it won Best Video, is it really was phenomenally well done musically, but I think they incorporated not just this real sense of camaraderie across all of the Epi folks who participated, but they really struck a nerve. I think it brought tears to my eyes when I was watching it. I had a hard time not just breaking down. And it was also a tribute to a colleague.
Yeah. They honestly, if I would take that and I would literally turn it into a pub, they should use that as publicly, an actual, publicly in as many possible ways, and we'll certainly promote it as many ways as we can with their permission. Now, we do have one of the things we want to do is bring on a representative of the winner, and Andrew Hamill is going to be the Epi representative. Andrew Davies, rather, is going to be the representative. He's got an email with the link, so we should, I hope, see him shortly in the green room.
I'm looking out for him.
Is he jumping on a cronut? That's what I want to know.
He's got his choice. Cronuts or brookies. We are into brookies now. We have to accommodate.
Nobody wants the blueberry bagel.
No, literally nobody, except maybe you, but nobody.
Yeah, we'll save those for you.
Sandy and earlier, though. I don't.
You and Ernest Borgnine.
What was he on McHale's Navy too? He was McHale. That's right.
He was McHale, right? What are you kidding?
You know who you else? Oh, wait a minute. I think we have our visitor. There he is.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right.
Andrew. That was amazing, my friend. So how did you guys even think of the idea, much less put it together?
Oh, well, these things are always a massive team effort. And I think the kernel of the idea came from you as an email out to your community. And the kernel of the idea from us came from an email out to our team. And we got a whole load of really cool concepts coming back. And that was one of them. And when you've got a voice like Kirsten's to take it and drive it home, we thought that was a really good song and concept that we could pull together. But yeah, loads of creativity from this end across the whole Episerver and Optimizely team to bring it to life.
Who actually did the production, like put together the actual video?
Yeah, so we had several people across our US and UK teams, including a chap called Sam, who's our video guy. And as in-house video, he does a whole range of our different normal kind of talking head corporate videos. And this was a bit outside his comfort zone, but he did such a good job of pulling together a whole range of different emotional concepts to make sure it did more than the normal talking head.
It was genuinely, it was moving. It was brilliant. And Kirsten's voice, of course, is just, ethereal even. And so, and by the way, you guys
got a hail.
Wow.
But hey, great musical direction too, Andrew. I mean, you have a lot of the credit here too. We know you had a big hand in this. A great team effort. Honestly, it was one of those things where I think from concept through to execution, it all just came together really, really beautifully. And it captures this moment in time, but it captures it with what I think is a very genuine sense of you guys as a team and as a joint team too, which is, not a forgotten conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never as a business that long, right? Much less a band.
Well, completely. Most of us have never even met each other. And I think that's, it's fun to see something like this thrown out to the community as a challenge and then to see people jump into it and respond. And I think really, given the year we've all had, 2020, many of us have not seen many people face to face. And this was a great opportunity to meet new colleagues, meet them on a different level than you would normally. There was no PowerPoint involved, only a couple of Excel spreadsheets. So I'm all good with that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
I do have one last question. So, because you guys, one of the things you did with all your videos was you altered the lyrics, right? And who did? I love by that. This is just really personal question in that regard because I love that. I love like writing satirical lyrics and things like that. Who did that? Who actually did that on your team?
You know what? Andrew just said his internet crashed.
The finalists.
Yeah.
Hey, he's back.
You're back. Andrew, so. Right.
You know what? Everybody, I don't know where it is where you are in the UK, all our kids have been on Google Classrooms, streaming classes all day because we're in lockdown and my internet is trashed. I've been cutting off every moment, so please excuse me.
No, it's no problem. So the only thing I was asking was, since you guys, did some, let's say, alteration of lyrics, like in all your songs, who, Epi and things like that, and who actually did that? I mean, I want to meet that person. Which one of you people did it?
So, yeah, the Jason Raz song, that was done by Justin West, who's on our solutions architect team in North America. And yours truly did the Epi into Happy. So I took that one and changed a few.
You and I have to have a conversation after this is all done. I'll be chatting with
happy
you.
to do that.
You'll be happy to do it, you say?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. And congratulations again. I mean,
everyone who submitted.
You guys were amazing.
All right.
Cheers.
Keep the halo, though. That's pretty cool. All right. So I think we got a couple of shout outs. So we're going to say just a parting is such sweet sorrow, but at least it's short sorrow. So we will put the green room put them back in the green room. Here we go. All right. So we're off and running. What the heck? All right. So we got shout outs. The next shout out is
All right. Well, this one is pretty self-evident, I guess, right, as far as what it is. This is just, look, I will tell you, the vocalist, without every single vocalist, first of all, the most frightening thing to me in the world is because I sing in a complete monotone, is people who I'm frightened to death of actually like singing, right? I wouldn't do it. And then I'm listening to every single band's vocalist without exception, just like killing it the whole time. Everyone. I mean, just these gorgeous voices that either could sing at a level of what I noticed about a lot of voices. On the one hand, you could belt them, they could belt it out. But on the other hand, they had control over their voice, so that when they had to bring it down and kind of leave it at the level of a crooner, so to speak, they could handle that too. It wasn't just a matter of singing; it was a matter of control too. But you and I were sitting there and scratching our heads, and as great as the vocalists all were, there was one who, just.
Should I go ahead and pop it up?
Yeah, just do it. There's no point in even continuing to say. Yeah, this was easy. The best voice goes to Kirsten Allegri Williams, who's also, by the way, their chief marketing officer, and this is for her part in The Winner Takes It All, her solo in The Winner Takes It All. And I mean, look, that was the thing with Kirsten, which is so amazing, aside from the fact her voice is stunningly gorgeous, is she actually is an accomplished mezzo soprano who sung at Carnegie Hall in multiple productions. Really, I mean, I actually did some research on where and what she sung too, and she sung. The thing when you're singing opera, especially, you're not just singing, you're acting too, right? And I read a couple of reviews of her too, and they were just like basically stunning.
Hey.
They were like pretty much one after another. So
I'm gonna have to step out. I have an emergency phone call I have to take.
Okay, I'll take it from here.
All right. Let me just do this. I'm just gonna step out.
Yeah. So I mean, we're going to be talking, since I don't have control over the actual slide. Brent does. So, the thing is that that with Kirsten's voice, it was stunning, beautiful, controlled, and emotional, right? So that was kind of it was sort of as great as all the vocalists were. And I'm not saying that just to be nice to other vocalists. They genuinely thought they were fantastic. This one just stood out by a long shot. And a lot of what we're going to do, and I'll just talk to it for a little while, even with this thing up, is that a lot of what we found was, in the course of this, was there was a combination of 2 or 3 things that kept helping us determine at least how we as individuals on the panel voted. One was that you had the individual talent. The other was, though, the absolute chemistry between the bands, meaning the vocalists and the instrumentalists themselves, was remarkable. And going to Andrew's point, where he was working with people he never met, Croco Birds, who was Pipe Drive's band, formed a band, I guess it was something like 6 days after they joined the competition. I think out of the 10 bands that were part of this, 5 or 6 of them were formed from the competition. And the resulting effect is, from what they've all told us, is they're going to continue on after the competition. And I think, given that we have a few minutes, until Brent gets back, I'll outline kind of what the thinking is, what we're coming up with for this year. Because, there's a lot of discussion going on about what to do next with BYOB 2020 and, with BYOB. And what we've decided to do, actually, presuming we can actually pull this off, is to actually do the equivalent of a live aid kind of band, probably a band competition, but really also a band fundraiser, right? The idea would be a charitable event, either live streamed, or if we have to pre-record, we will. We don't know yet. But let's presume live stream for X hours, and we'd be fundraising throughout those X hours for charities that would be chosen by the bands, and they would play sets throughout. Now, there's a lot that goes into that, and it would be obviously the initial invites are for the 10 bands who participated here. But what happened following BYOB was we had at least 2 other bands and a number of individuals reach out to us about both charities and bands and things like that who want to participate. And also there were at least 3 bands that wanted to participate in BYOB, but just couldn't pull it together at the last minute because it was sort of abrupt, that we're also going to offer the opportunity to come back in to participate in the charitable event. And one of the things we are looking for there, because it's a big endeavor, is we're going to be looking for help from you guys, all of you guys out there listening in today. And we, at the end of the show, we'll put something out to help you just to contact us, so that if you're interested in helping. So that's kind of the plan for 2021. I know that some of the bands asked us, can we combine the competition and the charitable event? We probably can. I just don't know how, particularly at the moment. But it will be opened up to Matt. Again, I don't have the ability to bring up StreamYard is, controlled by Brent on his side. We're going through a link to him, so I can't bring up the comments. But Matt Lawrence, who is one of the bands who reached out, he's the head of Akamai's band, actually says, please open it up to others. And Matt, yes, it will be opened up to others without any doubt. And here's a comment from Kirsten that, again, I'll read it to you because it's actually really interesting, which says, I feel I'm justified in all my student loans to pay for my voice lessons and master's in music degree today. What a recognition. I'm truly flattered and touched and so proud of the entire band. It was an incredible collaboration, such beautiful, heartfelt musicianship demonstrated in the orchestration as well as the creative strategy for the production. I'm very proud of our team. And look, there's a lot to be proud of. So she was best video. That video could be run as a public service announcement for literally for Epi running a public service announcement. It was beautiful and it was moving and it was, and Bob Fagel was one of our fifth judge on the panel, one of the 38, and mentioned that his family, some of his family are in frontline, doing frontline activity, and they were just totally touched and moved by it. So it is very, very strong and very, very powerful thing. Another thing I think, that I think would be helpful for people to understand is that when it comes to BYOB is that even though it's been limited to sort of the industry so far, there is some opportunity to spread the wings beyond just the immediate CRM, CX, CE kind of universe that we're all in, and on the charitable thing will give us the opportunity that, and to that effect, one of the people who's also on the stream right now is a guy named Kenny Lauer. And Kenny, who someone both Brent and I are very close to, is we're bringing him into the me and Brent team for the purposes of BYOB, charity. Kenny has he's an expert in immersive experiences. He's an expert in just doing good for others. He's a former VP of digital marketing for the Golden State Warriors. So we want to bring him onto the immediate team for helping us build out this charitable event and down the road. So we really look. Ultimately, we know what we're all going through, and what the country's been through and what the world's been through with COVID and so on. And we want to be able to do some good, and we want to be able to, support people who need the support. And this is an opportunity to take BYOB and make it something like that too. It worked. Okay, it worked. I mean, we're having obviously some, let's call it technical difficulties today with, Brent having to take his call and me just crashing in the beginning of this whole thing for no particular reason other than Facebook Live was open. But, but one thing we don't have a difficulty in is recognizing the people that we're working with and the talent that we have, to help perhaps help us in, doing some good out there. The other thing which is discussed among the bands, and this is another kind of behind the music kind of story, is that several of them seem to be interested in collaborating with each other, which personally I'd love to see. I really would love to see. I think that would be amazing. No, I don't, Nicole, unfortunately. Only Brent does. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Sit tight for a second, folks. I'm going to, because, I could sit here and riff all day, but, but you're going to be bored out of your mind with me after a very short while. So I'm going to, remember that best promo? What I'm going to do while we're waiting for Brent to come back is I'm going to play the best promo for you, and then I'm going to also play the full best video. So hold on one second. I'm going to have to switch cameras, so give me a second, and we'll get set up. Almost there. So now one of the things is we're playing with a little bit of unknown here because I'm not sure the sound is going to work right yet. This is something that we're going off a different camera on the different side. So give me 1 second. I'll get set up. And we'll do this. Hang on, folks. Almost there. All right. The other thing, if you're interested, everybody, go to the 56group.com site. We have all the behind the music interviews set up there. We have all the videos on the band pages, have all the videos. And one of the things that we're hoping the bands do, and they've all pretty much agreed that they want to keep their pages open, is that they can put up new music as they develop it. So this will be a place where you can go and listen to all these bands and all these people doing their thing. So let me go to take me one more second. Just unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to do this, so I have to find it to get it done. Here we go. Let me. Wow, that's going to be a problem. I have no way to cut down this this thing. No, that may not work. We'll find out. No, unfortunately, I can't get a larger window, so I won't be able to do that. So I guess what I can do now is have a conversation with you guys. So start commenting. I know this is not going to be easy, and I know this is not exactly what we planned for the big night, but life is life sometimes. So you have to do what you have to do. So I'm going to respond to some of you guys here. Here we go. I'll tell you what. Let me tell you some. I will tell you band stories too, right? Because there are a lot of those. So one of the most unique things that occurred in the course of this whole event was something I mentioned briefly earlier about Zoho doing original songs. Look, honestly, one of the things we were doing, again, this is behind the scenes kind of talk, but we were sending out an email kind of newsletter every other week or so through the course of the event, and in there it would be like suggested videos to watch that would sort of reflect how you can pull it together, things, what we're up to now, where we're going, what the plans are, what we wanted the bands to do, things like that. And when the very beginning, when we were sort of putting the rules together and showing everybody what to do, one of the things I suggested was, look, when you register, your best bet is to register for covers, because honestly, winning an original is going to be very difficult. As I mentioned, it's, not just the lyrics have to be every bit as good as the song. But Zoho just went ahead and they did this very touching tribute, which you saw a little bit of from Shania with Love, to both Shania, and also it was completely original music. I mean, completely original music, which was pretty remarkable in every way, shape, and form. So what happened was it came in, and you know what? You saw, it was one of the 3 finalists. It blew people away. And that's a huge credit to Zoho, actually. So, Zoho RMD was the ones who, let's say, took the biggest leap, and actually it paid off very well for them, given at least their current third place finish in the second place finish in the best video. Another thing, which was you really don't think about much, but was kind of Andrew kind of talked about it when we brought him on, was there's a lot of geographical distribution issues here, right? For example, SAP, which his band name was the Sapremes, SAP actually had band members from Germany, the UK, United States, and Spain. And somehow they managed to put together the videos to actually, and they all worked. Every one of them worked. I mean, think about that for a minute. 4